Hi, I'm James the Box Office Artist. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, you don't know what we are doing, well, this is what we're doing. All of these characters that you see over here were created by my children, my son and my daughter, and what they did was they made a design, and I didn't really change them too much, and I redrew them in my style, and what we have over here is what I like to call our JRCU, and that's what we're calling it for now. I've asked a lot of you guys, what should we call this universe of my children's creations and drawings, and I thought, why do we call it? We'll keep it simple. We'll just call it the James Ray's Children's Universe. For now, that will most likely change, but for now, why don't we coin it that for now? And I love doing these videos because, especially during this quarantine period, my children have been doing a lot of drawing, a lot of creating, in the hopes that I will actually take those drawings and redraw it for them. And that's what we are going to do today. We're going to add 2 more characters to the roster of our JRCU universe, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully you all enjoy it. So let's start with this one that my daughter created. Okay, over the quarantine period, we've been watching a lot of Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and this character definitely has its influences. It's being very Dumbledore or Gandalf-like, and she said that this is a cross between a fortune teller and a wizard or a sorcerer. So that's what we're going to do today. So we haven't had an older character yet, so I did want to add some wrinkles to the face, and as we know, the more lines we add to a person's face when the drawing, the older a person gets, okay? So that's why if I want a character a little younger, I'll try to back off on the lines on the face. But in this instance, I want it to look older, so I added some wrinkles around the eyes, the forehead, so adding a few more lines there. I also wanted to give him a longer mustache and beard, but trying to keep the length of the beard very similar to what my daughter drew. So not a full-on beard, but more like a, as according to her design, more like a goatee, long goatee like this with shaven sides. There's an old 80s wrestler named Jim the Anvil Neidhart, which I thought of when designing this beard. He would always think we'd go and go like this. So a little bit of inspiration from there, but again, just a goatee, not this full-on long Dumbledore beard, but a very short goatee. That's what we wanted to do. When it came to the hat, I wanted to have more of that witch type feel to it, so I gave it a little bit of the lip in the top here, so a little brim to the top, and I wanted to go up and overhang on the top, so it had the very witchish feel to it, and added a few more little details to it. Especially when it came to the outfit itself, because like I usually do with my daughter's designs, I add a little bit more detail to them because the way she draws, it's relatively simple, powerful designs, but very simple, so I added a bit of definition to the outfit, okay, adding overhanging cloth material that would flap in the wind, thinking whenever this wizard would use his powers, maybe some wind would come and make his beard flow from side to side, and his outfit kind of flap all over the place. And because I'm adding a little bit extra overhanging cloth, made sense to me for some extra belts, maybe around under his arm. You see there, he had some belts under his arm, a belt around his waist, just to keep the cloth in place. So I thought that was a functional design aspect to the drawing itself. And with all the extra material, needs something to help hold it in place, of course. So I felt a few belts on the side was a nice design touch. One detail she did add in her drawing was this magic sphere in there, okay? So I thought it would be cool if it wasn't on the table, but instead it would be something that this magician would hold from his hands, okay? So that's why I decided to put 2 spheres there, one for each hand, so maybe it would come out of his hands, maybe he could shoot out energy out of them, magical energy, have it glow, shoot out electricity. A lot of fun we could do with that particular. So there you go, this is the line art to the piece, a lot of fun. Now why don't we see how this will start to look when we add a little bit of color. So in terms of the color, it's blue. Now, I did want to stay true to the color here. You know, sometimes with their different designs, sometimes I'll add a little bit of accent colors here and there. But for this particular one, I did want to stay true to the color, just make it blue. I didn't want to add any other color to it, but I did want to add some variation when it comes to the shades of the blue. So you'll see, depending on the different type of folding, I made a darker shade or a lighter shade, and I thought that added to the overall design. And when it came to the magic spheres, I would take care of it with some glowing colors in the effects stage. So that I'll do that a little bit later, and you'll see that with the full color. So there you go. This is the Sorcerer Fortune Teller, or whatever name we give him. Hopefully you guys like it. And what does the full color look like? Well, you're going to find out right now. So for the second character, my son designed this one here, okay? So I thought this design was extremely interesting. Now, according to my son, it's an android, but it has the ability to either become completely fire or completely ice, okay? So as you see in the drawing here, we have on the one side completely sub-zero cold, as we would say, and on the other side, like a really thermal hot, okay? And it has the ability to be completely cold or completely hot, or have both at the same time, as demonstrated in this particular drawing. And one fun detail, because it's an android, in the middle of the body, okay, you see there, it says the little letters there, and it's kind of weird. It says free-in, and really what happens is when it's cold, it would say freeze, and when it was hot, it would say burn. And it would say the same thing, a small detail, if you look at the boots, also says the same thing. But when it's both, it would say freeern. Freeern. Maybe we'll come up with something a little clever a little bit later on with that. And one other final detail with this, its hands are boxing gloves. So this character really is Iceman meets the Human Torch meets Rocky. Okay, I am so down. So I wanted to draw a version of this character where it has both the ice and the heat variations at the same time. So I wanted to have the body. So I wanted to have the body half with fire and half with ice. Now, again, when I was drawing this, my son did stress that it is a robot. So I wanted to make sure I show the necessary detail to show that it is an android, especially in the face. One fun thing about adding fire and ice to a character, I could use them as design elements to make it feel like a variation of hair and a variation of costume elements, like shoulder pads, gauntlets, gloves, and all that. So I could shape them the way they want so they could have that feel of an outfit as opposed to elements. And that was a fun little challenge I had when putting this drawing together. So when drawing it, ice and fire have a very spiky element to them, okay? Spiky look to them. So that's why I thought to myself, why not use them as design elements and use them to our advantage? So on one side of the body, adding different pointy, sharp icicles in various sizes on one side of the body, and then I would try to mimic that on the other side, but use fire and try to shape the fire so they would have the same feel of the ice on the other side, and I thought that helped balance the design. So again, like I mentioned, this is an android, so it needs a lot of detail to sell that point. I always like drawing robots where the inside wiring and circuitry are exposed a little bit, okay? So that's why you'll always see me adding a lot of detail to, especially when it comes to the joints, maybe certain ab areas and regions, or where the android would, again, joints, where the arm would twist and turn. I like to add the details in those particular areas, and then cover them with big metal plates, okay? So whenever you think of muscles, the muscles, every time I think there are muscles, there would be like a giant plate to represent that muscles there. So that's what I tried to do to keep this feeling a bit more android-like. And as you can also see, I gave him Wolverine-style icicle claws because why not? And of course, can't forget the final detail here, boxing gloves, because we all know a robot really needs to protect its hands. talk color, okay? With the color, I really wanted the extreme feel. Extreme cold on one side, and extreme heat on the other side, with a little neutral metal in between, okay? And in the final color, you'll see me digitally add the letters my son added to his original design. In the middle, I decided to do that, you know, of course, with the letters that you find in Photoshop, because my handwriting is, it sucks. Okay, go. So there you go, that is my son's character. Let's call him, for now, Heat Freeze, maybe? Heat Freeze Bot? I don't know, whatever we're gonna call him. I'm gonna change the name later on. But here is the final version, the full color version, coming right at you. Our universe is getting a little bit crowded now with these two entries, isn't it? Okay, so I decided to add a new row, okay, of our heroes, because there's just so many, I can't really fit them in, okay? So I decided to shrink it down. We will add a new row, so there are now 4 rows of heroes. But how do these 2 new heroes fit within our JRCU? Well, we're going to find out in a minute. However, if you are new here, if you are new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. Also hit the bell. I'm doing my best to drop videos at 12 p.m. Every weekday. Okay, so Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. And hopefully we'll keep that time regular, so you guys know to come at that time to watch all my videos. And please do like this video. Helps my video a lot if you hit that like button. Share this video with all your friends, and let me know what you think of my son and daughter's drawing in the comments down below. But I know why you're still here. You want to see how these characters fit in our JRCU. Well, we're going to see the whole new lineup, the whole JRCU coming right at you. Before we sign off, I would like your help, because I'm actually thinking about putting together both a Patreon and trying to develop some online courses. Okay, so a lot of you guys are aspiring artists, maybe even aspiring YouTubers, and I'm an older guy. I got a lot of experience. Okay, I've worked for Marvel, I worked for DC, Image Comics, Transformers. I worked in film. I worked 9 years in film as a visual effects artist. I worked in video games. I have a wealth of knowledge that I feel, especially during this quarantine period, or especially during these uncertain times, it's a good time to learn. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out the best way I could share my knowledge with all of you guys. So let me know in the comments down below. Is there any type of course you would like me to develop, if that'd be something you'd be interested in? Also, in terms of Patreon, if I did a Patreon, what kind of rewards would you be looking for? Okay, and I'm trying to think of the best way to do that. I'm open to any and every idea right now, so if you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best. You are all my best friends, and my name is James. I am the Box Office Artist. I'm here to say keep drawing. I'll see you all next time.